Welcome back. An interesting trio here, and they've got a quest going on. I do wonder what's going to happen. We've changed up our group to see if we'll get any interesting dialogue from any of the characters we brought with us, so let's have a word. Oh, it's you guys. Of course, we've got Toa here. Instructor Thomas. And the lady from the Crossbell Times. Good to see you two again. Rean, Toa. It's been quite some time. It seems I just missed you in Erin. Like ships passing in the night, aren't we? Yeah. Gaius and Rosine told us you'd be here. I brought Gaius with me. So, who's your friend over here? Yeah, I've seen you around, but I don't think we've ever actually spoken. His eyes, he must be blind.
I had better make a formal introduction. I am Marcel Nielsen, freelance journalist.
Of course, I've already heard about all of you. The redoubtable Miss Herschel, Class VII, and the Ashen Chevalier alike, so they are here, good. Or perhaps it would be more accurate, call you the ultimate sacrifice of the Great Twilight. How do you know that? Knowing things is his business. Mr. Nielsen taught me everything I know about journalism. He's even won the Pulitzer Prize, several years in a row at that. He's covered the mysterious incidents in La Burle, the DG cult incident, and even the annexation of Crossbell. See, again, this is why I sort of like, with him, it's like, I want Tita there because of the La Burle stuff. Like, he's been to La Burle, we saw him in third, so... Wow. Well, he wasn't in La Burle at that point, was he? He was still in Erebonia. Because it was on the Lusitania, which was... He's been in the La Burle games. We'll go with that. Well, that's an impressive resume. I remember hearing about you, but... What are you doing here with Grace and Instructor Thomas? Well, first off, allow me to apologize for not helping you during that little incident on the Pantagruel. You see, there was a certain something I had been searching for at the time. An artifact passed down through the Imperial family. The final volume of the Black Records. Okay. Tell me more. You mean the secret books you and Rean were deciphering? Between flame and earth, the wavering darkness begins to spin the tale of the end. First, the conflict of the great gods of the second pillar. Second, the fusion of earth and flame and the completion of the 7 vessels. Third, the beginning of the 1,000-year city and the acceptance of the Grail. I was trying to rush through that just in case it didn't allow me to press X. It's like, quick. Fourth, the disappearance of the Holy Beast and the catastrophe of the Whispering Dragons. Fifth, the recapture of the capital and the Vermilion Curse. Sixth, the Lion's War and the sacrifice of the Holy Maiden. Seventh, the appearance of the Giant Pillar in the north and the Unwanted Child. Eighth, the sacrifice of the village and the 100 Days campaign. Ninth, the Great Blue Tree to the east and the appearance of the Cursed Castle. Thus, the 1,000-year-old wish was fulfilled. When the sacrifice is made and the ancient blood flows, the path to the Grail of Erebor shall open. When the tainted holy beast is pierced by the blade of world's end, and its blood fills the Grail, the Great Twilight shall fall upon the land. So there's actually more to it than that. That's what His Majesty told me when I visited him at St. Ursula. There's an additional volume relating what will happen after the Great Twilight. Sadly, however, His Majesty never read it himself. Let's read the bloody thing. Whoa, it can record even the future? That's artifacts for you. They operate on a whole different kind of logic. All that stuff about the recluse cube back in the Burle? Whoosh, right over my head. I think all of us are at a loss over it, to tell you the truth. Lucky for us, Mr. Nielsen's already gotten hold of the last volume, right? Huh? Oh, right on the money. My, this must be the work of the 8-Leaf School's famous unclouded eye technique, no? It's as you say, I possess the final volume. It took a month of searching all throughout the Empire. And curiously enough, though my own eyes are themselves clouded, I can still read the contents of the book. Huh. That made me sit back in my chair. It's just like, huh. So I wonder if it's a case of the books are only books. They look like books because that's how you understand the world. Like they manifest to you as something understandable. It's like, how would I pertain? How would I pertain? How would I take the knowledge from what is clearly artifacts, we know at this point. How can I take that knowledge from that artifact and understand it? And it's like, to most people of this time, they think book. But Nielsen wouldn't really think book, would he? Because I doubt they've developed Braille. So I'm wondering if it's somehow, some other way imparted the knowledge onto him, and it's part of how it works. That this is the final volume of the Black Records is an unmistakable fact. Triple dot. Naturally, once I heard about it, I set about negotiating a trade. In the end, we settled on a very simple condition. All you have to do, Rean, is give Nielsen an interview. Okay. Huh? Me? But don't worry, I don't actually plan on publishing it. Okay. I've already pieced together a few basic facts from your lineage alone, as well as the unfortunate position you've been placed in. Nevertheless, it's in my nature to seek out the truth. I want to find out exactly what's going on here in Erebonia. And what better way to get to said truth than to ask one of the people directly involved? Everything I've heard puts you at the center of all the strange happenings that have occurred here over the past few years. I'd be happy to give you the last of the Black Records in return for answering a few of my questions. Yeah, go. I mean, I'd answer your questions anyway, because it'd be fascinating, but... Rean. Goodness me. As he told me, you were perceptive, but it's rather unnerving just how much you already know. What do you say, Rean? The decision ultimately lies with you. I really want that book. The war is only 5 days away. This could help allay the situation, if only a little. I guess so. Give Nielsen an interview? Alright, you can ask me anything you want. You have my thanks. I really appreciate this, Rean. Hey, do you mind if I sit in on the interview? I'm joining in too. No journalist worth her salt would let a chance like this get away. I'm glad Toa's there. Toa, Thomas, and Grace remained in the room while everyone else left to wait outside. Aww. Thus did Rean's interview with the blind journalist then begin. Now, Rean. I understand that Thomas was your history teacher. I very much want to be like, now, Rean, let us begin. And given Miss Herschel's grandfather's expertise, I'm certain she knows her fair share as well. So I'd like to press right on and get to the heart of the matter, if that's alright with you. Yeah, sure. I have to admit, I'm feeling a little nervous. You can go ahead and start whenever you're ready. Can't let my nerves get to me. Let's begin with a quick synopsis then. As it stands, Great Twilight phenomena is currently enveloping the whole of the Empire. The force behind it is called Operation Jormungand, while the resistance against them is referred to as Mil Mirage. Moreover, the key factors of this entire dilemma are the 7 Divine Knights, as well as the 2 Septillions they had been forged from. I expected that to jump into like one of the main themes of this game, the one that was used in all the trailers, just with that clash then in the music. A great number of the implications behind these events are too much for humanity at large to handle. They make the history of our entire species feel trivial, meaningless even. But if we seek out these truths with an open mind, if there's more awaiting us than mere existential dread. I really want to pay attention to his words he's using here. What's happening here goes beyond just Erebonia. There are a myriad of different factors at play. There are? I see. Sounds like this is about to get deep. So how much does this guy know? I'm getting goosebumps. It's that sort of thing like, this guy knows a lot. What's the final Black Records? One of those factors is... Oh, just properly shivering. One of those factors is, of course, the Erebonian Empire. Thanks in part to the Arnor family owing allegiance to neither the clans of Earth nor Fire, they quickly rose to prominence. Thus today, Erebonia stands as one of the oldest nation-states in Zemuria. With the help of the Septine Church, it quickly expanded both its territories and its influence. That spectacular growth was also what gave birth to the Empire's unique system of class, all of which culminated 250 years ago, with the War of the Lions. There are plenty of intriguing rumors regarding what went on behind the scenes, but that's not quite what concerns us at the moment. What does concern us is what happened in the wake of the war, something that's exerting an influence on the world even today. You know what it is I'm referring to, Rean? I think so. Yeah, it's definitely the Orbital Revolution. Severe decrease in population? Like that's later, but that comes about because of that. It's definitely the Orbital Revolution. Was it Revolution? Renaissance, wasn't it? The Orbital Renaissance? What were they calling it again? It's Revolution or Renaissance? I can't remember. It's not Revolution. I don't remember now. You mean Draka's post-war Renaissance, right? A whole lot of innovations were introduced during that time. Stuff people couldn't even dream of back in the Dark Ages. That made the country what it is today, making huge leaps forward in law, economics, and culture alike. The founding of Thor's military academy is a perfect example. That's right, because anyone can enroll regardless of class or nationality. Oh, I see what they're getting at now. Yeah. Helped a lot of commoners get into the Imperial Army or obtain government posts. See, I'm thinking of Zemuria as a whole. I've got to think slightly smaller. Slightly. Got to think more Erebonia. Thinking about it like this, you could also say it indirectly led to the formation of the noble and reformist factions, even the Civil War itself 2 years back. Right, the noble faction would have never been so militant if those class distinctions hadn't been so pronounced to begin with. That likely had repercussions beyond the army and the government as well. Very good. Seems we're more or less on all on the same page. I am now, definitely. Let's move on to the factors that work outside of Erebonia then. Yeah, see, I was focusing on the bigger picture. It's like, no. Ooh, it's weird to see that. Now, I realize that's a rather broad description to use. So for our purpose, we'll narrow it down to Liberl, Northumbria, Uri, Nord, and Crossbell. Calvard also borders the country, of course, but really deserves to be in a category of its own. Whether the Nord Highlands counts as part of the Empire is up for contention, and Crossbell has been a contested territory for hundreds of years. But these territories weren't under Erebonian rule when the Empire was first founded. Even so, their impact on imperial matters back then was by no means small. We have, for instance, the Nord Highlands, where then Prince Strykos began his campaign, and Liberl found itself caught up in the 100 Days of War due to the massacre at Hamel, a tragedy born of conflict with the Empire's class system. Of course, it goes without saying that each of these situations began from within Erebonia. But there was one specific event not directly connected to the Empire that still had a great influence on its future. Oh, the only one left that I can think of that would be significant is going to be the Salt Pale, then. Does anything spring to mind, Rean? Let's see. No. Nordy's already covered. The resignation that was directly related to, what was going on with Osborne. It's like, the Salt Pale was definitely not I say definitely not. As far as we know, not directly connected. The only thing I know of that fits the bill is the Salt Pale, the one that appeared during the Northumbrian disaster. Yeah. Still don't know exactly what caused it, but it definitely wasn't the Empire. So yeah, you're doing what I did, where it's like, definitely not the Empire, as far as we know. A natural disaster like that would surely have had far-reaching consequences. That's true. It set off the sequence of events that led to Northumbria changing from a principality to an autonomous state. Many refugees fled to Erebonia, and the newly established northern Jaegers found plenty of chances for employment as they were hired by Erebonia nobles for proxy wars. And Northumbria's troubles spilled over to its neighbours in the west. The rise resulting economic hardships were just what the Empire, or rather, Chancellor Osborne, needed to turn its people against Crow's grandfather. Yeah, that's exactly right. I see. When you think of it that way, you can really start to glean the wider impact that disaster had on the world. Even the Imperial Liberation Front's creation can be traced all the way back to it. Quite right. It's an event that certainly deserves our consideration, if we aim to properly unravel the goings-on of the Empire. Let us conclude by moving over to the happenings to the east. Again, to narrow things down, we'll specify East meaning Crossbell, now a part of the Empire and the Republic of Calvard. May end up bringing other powers on the continent into discussion, but for now, let's focus on these two. I like that. Calvard has fought with Erebonia for control of Crossbell for centuries now. About 100 years back, their monarchy was overthrown and a republic established. Then, 72 years ago, Calvard and Erebonia negotiated shared rule of Crossbell, effectively turning it into an autonomous state. Effectively. Some 30 or so years before that, Crossbell was actually a part of the Empire. Were you aware of that? Come to think of it, I think we did touch upon it in our history classes, if only just barely. I guess an Imperial school wouldn't want to give a lot of attention to losing a territory. We still have the old Governor General's residence from when we were last under Imperial rule too. The old pro-Erebonian speaker took the place for himself, apparently holding some seriously shady underground auctions there. Yeah. Our missions like this are a common story, I'm afraid. For the Empire, the shared jurisdiction represented a loss, a humiliation. Thus, they gave it less and less prominence in their histories over time, in an attempt to cover it up and diminish its importance. I see. Yeah, that about explains it. Drago's post-war renaissance spurred Calvard on to make a great number of societal changes, many of which led to them increasing their own sphere of influence, eventually resulting in a dispute over Crossbell. Tension between the two nations has festered throughout the generations, especially on the side of the Erebonians. And the curses bring all that animosity to the forefront. Calvard's revolution was a time of rapid change and upheaval. These things are never exactly simple, but there was one force that was instrumental in overthrowing the old social order. How's your knowledge of international history, Rean? Do you know what it was? Well, they're immigrants from the East. Nation-states from the East, the Septine Church. What? They're immigrants from the East. A lot of people emigrated to Calvard around that time. Still do to this day, in fact. Hello, hello. Indeed. At the time, Calvard was verging on the brink of an economic collapse. It's said that the merchants moving in from the east gave the revolutionary forces enough financial aid to tip the scales in their favor. There are also rumors that Eastern assassins were sent after major leaders on both sides. So that's how the flow of people from the east affected Calvard's revolution. That revolution led to Crossbell's autonomous statehood, which in turn led to its struggle for independence and subsequent reannexation. Reannexation that led to Calvard taking military action, and the results of that battle led to them deploying their agents to Heimdall earlier this year. Start to see how it all connects to Operation Jormungand and Mil Mirage. Yeah, there's more behind-the-scenes dealings to this than just Erebonia's. This isn't really an interview, is it, Mr. Nielsen? It's more like a debriefing. Thanks to you, we now have a much firmer grasp of the continent's past, present, and future. All these events laid the groundwork for the curse of the Empire to take root. The way you put it, even my becoming a sacrifice for the Great Twilight sounds like it was inevitable. So that's what this was all about. Mr. Nielsen? Well, You are a key figure in this after all. I simply felt you had a right to know. Though talking through and discussing our various theories was rather enjoyable too. And indeed, Nielsen, I've enjoyed that quite a bit through this series. Received the final volume of the Black Records. Exclamation. Oh. It's relatively short compared to the others, so it shouldn't take you too long to decipher. Decipher it now! In any case, have my thanks for volunteering your time. Now if you'll excuse me, I must go off in search of my next story. Wait, you're leaving? How? Oh, I've arranged passage with one of the transports passing through from Aragon. It'll take me as far as Milsanti. I'm sure I can find myself a train from there. Wow, that's pretty thorough. Do you mind if we tag along? This is just too good to pass up. I've got to tell Rean about this. Well, it looks like this is where we part ways. But I expect we'll meet again. Perhaps with my commander present next time around. An appealing prospect to be sure. Thanks for everything, Mr. Nielsen. I feel like my understanding is finally up to speed. I'll try to take a wider perspective of what we're getting ourselves into going forward. Yes, thank you. This has all been very enlightening. The pleasure was all mine. Now then, I bid you farewell. Let's have a look at that book. G. Silligan. And the book. So I want to say the Black Record. Thanks much, Rean. I'll get right on translating the final volume. Take me a couple of days. Oh no! I'll try to get it done before you have to leave. I appreciate it. Will you be heading back to your macabre then? Not yet. I need to go discuss some things with Rean. Plus I thought I'd stick around to help with some of the repairs to your macabre. Thanks again, Father Thomas. Oh, you do actually say stuff related to it. You know me? I'm just happy to help. Take care, Instructor. Hopefully we meet again sooner instead of later. Yeah, it's been a while since I've been alive enough to see you. Well, we did spend 2 years together at Thor's. Has to count for something, no? Now then, everyone. Until we meet again, take care in the meantime. You'd never guess he was a member of the Growlsritter by looks alone. An ability is ought to be outlawed. Phew, that really was a loaded conversation, huh? But everything we learned from it made it worthwhile, wouldn't you say? Yeah, I definitely feel like I've gotten my head together now. I won't let all this talk of prophecies and destinies hold me back. Whatever the Black Records say will happen, I'll face it, head on. That's the spirit. But remember, all of us will be right there by your side. Goldia gem. A Goldia gem? And Nielsen has... Oh, that's my Britishness coming through there. I was going to say he's buggered off. He has, but, you know, it's just... strange. I wonder if we will see them around somewhere else. That's just... I love that kind of stuff. Right, so, we've still got Trial Chest. Still got number 8 to do. We still had that other one that I saw around... No, I did it, didn't I? Yeah, I was going to say there was one in the Lunar Sanctuary, but I did it, didn't I? Let's go to Milsanti. Let's actually go to Lake Garlic By Road. There's something going on at the altar? Who's at the altar? There's a blue star. I'm gonna get this one, I'm here. Why is there a blue star there? Are we gonna learn more memories? Like some other thing, that'd be cool. Let's see what we got. Like, there's no one there. Like, look into it, it's like, oh look! It's blue!
Shit!
Iron hair. Iron hair? I'm assuming then, where am I? I'm assuming... That makes a lot of sense, but no. But no, we have to keep him with this. Okay. So that's all that was about? Alright, Milsanti Byroad then. No, I want Legala. We'll go to Milsanti. Oh, hello. What's going on here? Like, what is he doing? Hey, wait for me! How are you returning to Heimdall right after I've been drafted? You still don't understand? Oh, are you worried about Mira? Saving should be more than enough to sustain you while I'm gone. Losing the position I built for myself hurts, but at the very least, I can make sure the two of you... Exactly. All you talk about is work in Mira. You're going off to war. There's no guarantee we'll ever be together again as a family. If this is all you have to say before you go... But I'm doing this for all of us. No, you're right. I'm waiting for Reich to finish what he's doing, and then I'll return with him to the capital. My husband suddenly got very quiet. I don't know if that means he regrets his behavior or what. I thought I was doing what's best for Reich and my wife, but I was so wrong. Yes, you were, mate. I came to the chapel to pray, and I bumped into Nikki, who was just leaving. She said she was going to see Gally today and headed in the direction of the White Birch Inn. The Gala's an interesting place. I know some folklore that would you believe something lives in the lake. Interested in the legend of Lake Gala? Yes. The words were left behind. The water in the lake is cleansed of mana, reflects a person's true nature. Some have believed that witches use the lake water in their magical rituals. And what true nature would be reflected in times like these. Kinda makes sense, though. Nikki lost both her parents when she was still very young. Church took her in and has cared for her. I don't mind that she's found something to be so fascinated by. Just worry she might fall from the terrace. I can't help but worry when it comes to her. She's much like a daughter to me. I worry so much about little Nikki. We've been together since she was just a baby, and I feel like I've become like a father to her. Aww, it's nice. Probably should change my group up soon, because it's like I got them for that quest, so... I asked Harsh if she had any ideas for fixing my, gloomy personality. Easier said than done, she told me. We're going to try and find a way together. First, I'm going to improve my posture. It might look silly, but if I can change just a little, it helps me be more reliable. I owe it to myself to try. If I can improve my posture, maybe I can improve my attitude too. But if it looks silly, I owe it to myself to try. Indeed. Hey, back off. I was pressing circle and nothing. I've only recently learned something. Apparently Diana is related to a noble family in the Mare. I've never really stopped to wonder just who in the world is Diana. And here she has a daughter. Seems like the only reason we have enough products is because Diana's family has been helping us. I've never really stopped to wonder just who in the world is Diana. A Galley plushie. Can I not get issue 8? Let's get that and have a look at that as well. So that could be interesting. Version code? No. Righto. I'm uneasy with our level of provisions. Besides our rations, we'll need to order more daily essentials. Medical supplies are going to be tricky to get a hold of, though. I'll have to ask around again. Oh, how long were you standing there? Sorry for ignoring you. Hey, don't worry about it. You're hard at work. Is everything alright? More or less. Requisitions are getting larger and larger. It's made running the store tough, to say the least. War really is on our doorstep. Even with all my worrying, I'm sure he just thinks I'm sticking my nose where it doesn't belong. Maybe I'm going loopy, but I swear she reminds me of someone. Indeed. Business is fraught right now, but there must be a way through this. It's precisely at times like these that I have to pull out every trick in the book to stay afloat. Okay, I'm glad we had Randy there, though. Trying to figure out all the combinations of people you could have that could lead to scenes, it's like, just loads. Go in the house first. Okay. I see her over there. More and more goods are being rationed lately. But at the same time, more is being requisitioned too. Diana is thinking up a strategy for everyone to get the supplies they need. It's not much in the way of thanks, but I thought I'd share some homemade cooking with her later. Even though things at the store are tough, Diana is thinking up a strategy for us to get everyone the supplies they need. It's not much in the way of thanks, but I thought I'd share some homemade cooking with her later. We got a doll upstairs. We don't. Okay. So what's going on down here? Why are you here? I heard from Nikki that Galley had come ashore, so we went to the byroad together to see for ourselves. Got a glimpse of it from behind a tree. It was even more scary than I imagined. Even Nikki was spooked. It doesn't seem to be a regular monster. I wonder where it came from. Yeah. Got to look at Galley from behind a tree. I don't think it's a normal monster. Wonder where it came from. I have some idea. Why did you pick up this book? I don't need it anymore. That's why I threw it away. But aren't you always reading it? And if your dad got it for you, shouldn't you be a little more careful with it? Oh, you're so annoying. I don't need a book that some liar gave to me. My dad used to say if you had Mary, you could do anything. So why did he go to war? You know what war is? He's never coming home. Left me and my mum alone. Your dad too, huh? Does that mean you threw the book away because you were sad? No, I threw it away because Dad lied. He abandoned me and Mum. That's why I don't want that stupid book anymore. It's okay to cry. I was sad when I had to say goodbye to my dad too. But you need to look after what your dad gave you. You need to keep it safe and pray to Adios for him to return. I don't believe in all that. Oh, come on, Reich. Why don't we try and pray to Adios together? I'll be right here next to you. Have you been listening to me? Whatever, I'll stay with you if that's what you want. Reich seems to have perked up a little. I'm going to look after this book and pray for Dad. Because it's a pain, but I appreciate him saying what he did. I'll still be his friend. Aw, they're adorable, aren't they? Now, what do we got here? You're not going to believe this. I finally found Galley. Galley has 4 legs, but sorta lolloped out of the lake. I went with Fuller to the byroad and snuck a peek from behind a tree. Galley is way scarier looking and sounding than I ever thought it'd be. If he comes to town, could be real bad news. That must be the cryptid we saw when we went to Lake Garda together. Feel bad, but it's come ashore. We'll have to fight it. Galley's way scarier looking and sounding than I thought he'd be. If he comes to town, it could be real bad news. Indeed. Anton? So I know that Sharon works for Rhineford. I looked around every last city where the Rhineford group is active. I still couldn't find her. Where could she be? Hey Anton, there's a war coming. You might want to cut your losses and get back home to La Burle. That's exactly what my friend Ricky said. But I know that if I leave now, I'll regret it for the rest of my life. There's no way I'm going to stop searching. Well, at least you're enthusiastic. Okay, I know that it might come across as a little stalkerish, but I don't expect her to leap into my arms and confess her love for me or anything. It's just something I want to say to her. I carry so much sadness with her. It breaks my heart. So I can't give up. Not yet. Not until I see her again. I understand you won't stop your search, but please be careful. I will. Sorry to make you worry. Aw, mate. Can't believe that I still haven't found her. This will La Burle, I put in a request with the guild, but things are a little more complicated here in Erebonia. This isn't the time to grumble. I'll search every last renegade of Eastern Erebonia if that's what it takes. It's like, well, I'd come with you, but I'm apparently not allowed. Don't push yourself too much when I'm not here, okay? Make sure you walk slowly and rest often to avoid straining yourself, okay? If something happens, I won't be around to help, and everyone else in the town has things to... Come on, I know that. You don't have to spell it out. Can't believe that even in times like these, all you think about are your parents. Feel like somewhat responsible for you receiving your draft card. Maybe my legs weren't bad. Maybe if I could move properly, then you wouldn't... Dad, damn it, why are you going on about something like this? I've already accepted it. Sydney is doing his best. We have to pull our socks up too. I'll make it back home. And back to the inn. I got no doubt about that. Even after he's been drafted, Robert still puts his old man first. It has to be like this, but I have to accept the determination of my only son. Indeed. I know how my father feels. That's why I have to make it home. Back to my hometown and back to the inn. Well, I didn't expect you three to actually be here. Ah, it isn't Class 7 and the Ashen Chevalier. What a strange coincidence running into you again. You're not stalking us, are you? Why would we? Oh, never mind. You'll have to forgive me for leaving so abruptly earlier. We came to Milsanti by bus, and while that was all well and good, but now that we're here, we haven't been able to get a railway ticket for love nor money. Expect we'll be in Milsanti for some time. Sounds pretty rough. I'm not sure what to make of this Nielsen guy. He's got sharp insight, that's for sure. Far beyond that of your average journalist. Just something about him. Is there a problem? Oh no, don't mind me. Oh, that's the story. We're effectively stuck here until we can arrange our own transport. I can't stand just sitting around like this. How are we going to do a feature on some of the Milsanti locals? Grace, just take it easy. What happens if you get so caught up in an interview we end up missing the next train? Well, good luck catching a ride. Could offer a ride. Being stuck here sucks. There are so many stories in Heimdall just waiting for us to break them. If we can ever get out of here. Again, we could offer them a ride, Valymore. You know, like we've been pretty much near Heimdall. You could do it. If there was anything newsworthy going on in Milsanti, that would be one thing, but no. This is a nightmare. Wake up, Grace. Wake up. Grace, please try to calm down. It's him again. And I wonder if... Yep. Nielsen, though. I'm grateful I was able to spend today in a meaningful way. Just hope the final volume of the Black Records proves useful. Perhaps our paths will cross again. I hope so. Right, so I'm going to end this part here, and the next part will investigate Galley. Ta-da for now.